Hey guys, what is going on? Death Bat for Life here. Today is October 17th, 2016. If you're wondering why this video is titled Remembering Loma Prieta, today marks the 27-year anniversary of the 1989 Loma Prieta Earthquake. On October 17th, 1989, at 5:04 p.m., the San Francisco Bay Area was rocked by a magnitude 6.9 earthquake. The quake was centered 10 miles northeast of Santa Cruz. However, major damage was done in San Francisco and Oakland. In San Francisco, a major fire broke out in the Marina District, and a 50-foot section of the Bay Bridge collapsed. In Oakland, 14 city block sections of the Nimitz Freeway collapsed, killing 40 people. In Santa Cruz, there was also major damage to a mall in the downtown area, killing 12 there. In total, the 1989 Loma Prieta earthquake killed 63 people and injuring hundreds of others. The damage toll is in a number I don't quite remember. Now, what I'm about to show you is the shake map from the 1989 earthquake. As you guys can see, widespread damage, not only from the earthquake, but the shake map shows the most intense areas hit were Santa Cruz and everywhere to the south. But up near San Francisco, it's also in the orange to red area. Now, the stories I've heard from this earthquake from my own family was they're sitting in the living room. They're waiting for Game 3 of the World Series against the San Francisco Giants and the Oakland Athletics. How ironic that both teams are playing. And when 5:04 came around, they described to it as, it sounded like a car was coming by the house. But then everything started to shake violently for 15 seconds. My parents were freaked out by it. They knew what it was an earthquake. They've been through so many. This quake happened almost 7 years before I was even born. And I had never been through an earthquake until once I got older. I've felt several earthquakes throughout my life. And then another story from my aunt. She lived on top of a hill about 3 to 4 miles away from where I currently live in San Leandro, and they were thrown back and forth across the room. They weren't injured, but they were literally thrown off of their couch and being flung back and forth by the movement of the earthquake. They used to live in 3 different apartments in the same area, like literally in the same spot, and partial collapse occurred on a balcony of one of the places. It did not fall all the way down, but it was a partial collapse. Now, if you guys are wondering why I'm talking about this, is my reflection to what happened. I wasn't alive when the 89 quake hit, and you guys are wondering, why are you talking about this? It's because the Bay Area literally has earthquakes all the time. And it's more of a preparedness. Is we can have another major earthquake any day. I've experienced pretty large earthquakes in my lifetime. The 2 biggest quakes I've experienced was in 2007. There was an earthquake near Alum Rock near San Jose that registered 5.5 on the Richter scale. That is a pretty strong earthquake. It's a moderate earthquake. And just recently, 2 years ago, up in Napa, which is not far again from me, about 30 miles to my north, a magnitude 6.0 occurred in American Canyon. There's been large earthquakes in a fault in the past, very close to where I live, about 5 miles to my east, which is in the direction, it's going to be in reverse, because when I'm pointing this way, it's actually the right direction. I'm pointing behind the camera. A fault runs for about 40 miles, which is also comparing to the San Andreas. It's one of the sister faults off of it. It's called the Hayward Fault, and that fault is supposed to go off sometime within the next 30 years. They've been saying that since 2008, so the time is running out. I'm not scaring people. That's not what I'm trying to do. Is you have to be prepared at any time for a major quake. It could happen at any time. And California, it will happen regardless any day. Like, I'm sorry, I keep looking at this. I kind of wrote some stuff down because I've messed up on this video several times. As I said, you just got to be prepared. You never know when it's going to hit. Earthquakes hit without warning. You might get lucky and there might be smaller quakes that lead up to it, but it's never a guarantee that foreshocks will occur. And this is just a reflect of the 89 quake. Obviously I wasn't alive, like I said. I wasn't born yet. But for families that are still suffering, I hope you guys are all doing better. And I feel sorry for everyone's loss during the '89 quake. And the experience my parents and my family went through, we didn't lose anybody. But to hear about all the stories I listened to when I was growing up, my parents telling me about the quake itself, it just makes me think of in the future how I'm going to eventually go through a major earthquake. And you just got to be prepared. Make sure you have all your emergency kits. And make sure you have enough food and water to survive 3 days before experiencing any help. And also, after another major quake hits the Bay Area, there's going to be multiple aftershocks. There can be larger aftershocks. Maybe smaller than the main shock itself, but even larger. As I said, guys, this is my reflection on Loma Prieta, and I just want everyone out there to be prepared for whenever, even a small earthquake. Just be prepared whenever it occurs. Thank you guys for listening, and as always, I will see you guys later. Peace.